Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and make a really quick video on how to make quick and easy fonts for Minecraft using Photoshop. You can also get similar effects if you use free software such as GIMP, but I use Photoshop, and I think a lot of people have Photoshop because it's not hard to find a cracked version online, and it's really the best software to use. You can use the tips I give in other software, so you'll be fine. But to start off, I'm just going to go ahead and try and find a nice font to use. So if we search for bold fonts, you can find fonts anywhere. You just want to look around on the internet until you find a font you like the look of. But it turns out I actually quite like... Oh, are we good? Alright, we froze out there. The first font, Digital. I don't know what that says. So we'll click download, open that up, and we should just be able to go into here. Yeah, go away. Go into here and click install, and that will install the font onto our computer. I already have it installed. There you go. So I don't want to replace it, but you just want to click install, and that will get it installed. Then we're going to want to go ahead and open Photoshop, and because we are making thumbnails, we're going to want our width to be 1280 pixels and our height to be 720 pixels. And I think you can have any width and height that hold the same resolution as this for YouTube, but this is a nice size. It's what I work with, and it works nicely. We'll go ahead and click OK, and then we have our blank canvas. I'm going to straight away create a new layer by clicking on the button in the bottom right. It's the second in from the bin in this version of Photoshop. I actually don't know what version this is. And I'm going to delete the background layer just by clicking on it and pressing delete, so that we now have a transparent layer. Okay, the next thing you want to do is just quickly hop onto the game and just take a little screenshot. Press F1 to hide your GUI and stuff, and just take a screenshot of anything that looks somewhat attractive. The lobby, the Smeagol's lobby is always a nice background. It's what I use on mine. And then just press F2 so you have a screenshot of this. Okay, then we come back over to our Photoshop. We're going to go to our taskbar and type in %app data % to get our screenshots. If you've never done this before, you click on the .minecraft folder, come down to screenshots, and it should be the most recent screenshot. I'm actually using a slightly older one. There we go. And this is actually going to create a new file in your Photoshop. So what you're going to do is you're going to double click on the background layer and click OK, and that will move it onto its own layer, so you can now move it around. I'm going to drag it onto my other file. It's going to be slightly big, so we're going to press Control and minus at the same time to zoom out. Then press Control T, and this will let us resize it. And by holding Shift and then dragging it in, it will scale it down so that we can fit it onto the canvas, just like that. Now I'm going to hold Control and press plus again to zoom back in. And what I'm going to do now is come to Filter, click on Blur, and then use a Gaussian blur. I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't really care. And I go for about 72 pixels, and that will nicely blur out the background. Now when I'm making my thumbnails, I normally have three options at this point. I either add an item, a player, or I add a little achievement box. So I'm going to start off by adding an item. We're just going to go onto the internet again. We'll just get a diamond sword. Why did I say sword? This will do. I'm going to copy it. Just right click, copy, come into Photoshop, press Ctrl V to paste it, and I'm going to click on this magic wand tool, which is fourth down from the side, change the tolerance up in the top to 1, and then click on the black bit and press delete, and again on the bottom. Now I need to check this is going to scale okay. We might need to find a bigger image, because when you make this bigger it actually becomes blurry. So we need to find an image which has a bigger resolution. So when you hover over the image on Chrome at least, it says in the bottom left what the resolution is. This one is 500 by 500. This one's 820 by 820. We can just go for this. This is nice and big. There you go. Look at that. That's a lot bigger. And if we make it a little bit smaller so that it fits on the canvas, press enter to confirm the transformation. That's just doing the same thing we've already done. And because the background here is white and grey tiles, I'm going to use the magic wand, but I'm going to up the tolerance again to 32 so that it will delete both the white and the grey. The tolerance is just how much of a colour similar to the one you click on do you want to get rid of. If it's 1, it will delete every pixel that is the exact same colour, and the higher you go, the more lenient it is. So that's why it deletes the white and the grey. Alright, now we've got this, I like to right click on the layer that we have this image on, go into blending options and just add a outer glow. By default it's yellow. We'll just click on the outer glow, click on the little box to change the colour and drag it along to white, and add a bit more size to it so it's just it pops a bit more. We'll move it into the center, and there we go, we've now got an item on the screen. And after that you probably want to add some text. So the font we just downloaded, if I press T to get the text box up, I would change the font to the one we just downloaded. I can't actually remember what it's called. There we go, Digital. We'll click to start typing, and then what do we want to type? Depends what we're playing really. Hunger Games? Sure, we'll go for Hunger Games. I don't know if people still play Hunger Games. We're just going to use Control T to size it so it fits on the screen nicely. And then if we press T again and highlight it, in the top we can change the colour of this. I actually kind of like the blue, it was already on. Oh, we've gone for purple. The blue that it was on was quite nice. Click OK when you're happy with it. And then we're going to right click on the layer on the right, the text layer, and go to the blending options. I'm going to click on a drop shadow. That just makes it stand out, and then you can play around with these as much as you like. We can add a glow like we did with the swords, but I prefer just the drop shadow. And I normally add a gradient as well. If you want to add a gradient, you just click on the gradient overlay and then click on the color drop down box and select the first one, and this will make a gradient based on your colors on the left of the screen. So I've currently got a nice cyan and a white selected, and then we've added some text with some swords. It looks right, it's a thumbnail, it is what it is. Another option is actually using this achievement template, which I can link either a video to or a file in the description. I can't remember how I found it, but this template has everything you need. You just want to go into the file and copy everything and drag it into our own file, and then I normally like to again add a glow. If I click on the achievement box, blending options, and add a outer glow like we did last time, make it white, make it a bit bigger, and then we can write whatever we want in this achievement box. I don't know what you want to say. Kill Hypixel. Oh, can't spell. You can write whatever you want, and this is quite nice. Or you can even delete the metadata and make the achievement box smaller, and now it's like a little item description instead. You have to work out the scaling a bit, but this is like when you hover over a enchanted item and it lists the enchantments. You can just do it. You can play around with this once you've got the template. Do whatever you want. It's really up to you. Okay, and the third option is adding a player, and the easiest way to do this is using Nova Skin. It's just a website you can go to. You can get characters. If you click on pose, once you've found a skin, you can like type in your name. If I type in my name, I can spell it. Dilogical. it will come up, but we don't care, we can just go with this for now. And you just give it a little pose. If I make the right arm stick out a bit more, bend it, you'll have to play around with this yourself, or just use a random pose until you get something you like. Same with the left arm, we'll get that sticking out, separate the legs a bit, get them just so he looks a bit more human than he currently does. Yeah, that's fine, I don't really care what it looks like. We'll add a sword, oh, left hand, yeah, sword and an axe, or a bow. What does the bow look like? The bow looks awful, don't use a bow. We'll give him a gap, we'll give him a gapple. Sure. Nah, I don't like it. You get the point though, you can add whatever you like. We'll go for a sword. And then you want to click on photo, and that will, should we get him facing a direction? Click on photo, you want to copy the photo, throw it into Photoshop, use the magic wand again with the tolerance of 1 to delete the background, or you can actually just download the photo if you don't want to copy it. That's normally a bit safer downloading photos because it will have a transparent background if it's a PNG, because if your character has some black on him, it will delete that when you use the magic wand, but that's something that you can search yourself. And then again, we just want to add a nice outer glow, or you can even add a drop shadow. That works quite nicely on characters. You can see the drop shadow, it makes them stand out, maybe not as much as the outer glow, but it works, it does its job. So that's, you can play around either adding a drop shadow or an outer glow. Adding both doesn't really do much. And the final thing I want to talk about is another font that you can download, the Minecraftia font. And this is the actual font that is used in Minecraft. And using this font, you can make text like names. If I go on Google and get Minecraft color codes, we will get an image. Is that right? That looks alright. We'll copy this image into Photoshop. If I zoom in on it, I can. That's a bad image. That's a really blurry image. Let me get a better image quick. Is that any better? I don't know if these colours are right, but you can just copy an image in with the colours on. This might be it. This might be alright. You can use the select colour tool. It's the bottom one of the first section, the eyedrop tool, to select the colour that's actually used in the font. We'll click on the eye to then hide this again. Press T, select the Minecraftia font, and we'll start typing. Just like that. And that gives you sort of some usernames, or you can use other text. I don't really care what you do with it. I can't remember, I don't think usernames actually have a drop shadow, but most font in Minecraft does have a drop shadow, so we'll just add that. I can't remember how exact it is. Ooh, there is an exact measurement to get the drop shadow how it should be, but I can't remember it, so we'll just go with that for now. And there you go, that's basically all you need. If you put those skills together, you can make some okay thumbnails. They're nothing insane, but they do the job. So if you're just starting out and you don't want to spend too much time making thumbnails, use these tips and you'll be okay. And then in the future you'll learn more, you'll make better thumbnails. But that's what I have to say really. I hope this is helpful. If not, I've completely wasted my time. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments. If I was too fast going over some stuff, ask me and I will explain it in more detail in the comments, because I have rushed a bit. I didn't really plan it out. But other than that, please subscribe, like, tell me how I can improve. Thanks.